Hey guys, and welcome to my bathroom of all places. Today, I'm actually going to show you, as a male, what you should be packing for when you go to an all-inclusive resort. Now, ladies, if your guy does not like to pack and you pack for them, first of all, dump him. Get somebody who knows how to pack. If you don't want to leave him, that's cool too. But this is some suggestions for you. Now, if you are a single lady and you need to know what you should pack as a female, I'm going to put a link right up here to a video from Blanche over at 3 Days and Tres Noches. She's wonderful. She goes to more all-inclusive resorts than I do in Mexico and the Dominican Republic. Even though she lives in New Jersey, I secretly think she lives in Cancun. I don't know. So, first things first, I'm going to talk shirts. Now, a lot of my shirts are going to be very loud prints, but they are button-up designs, 100% cotton from Old Navy. These will run you about $17, $18, $20 each. Also, be careful wearing shirts with pineapples. If you know, you know. These two are actually current as of 2026. And I actually do have the matching bathing suit for both of these. So if you want to buy a shirt and a bathing suit, that'll run you about $40. Yeah. Next thing too, you want more dress shirts. This one actually is Alfani brand. It's long sleeve. Got it at Macy's on clearance. I don't think I sell these anymore. Then this one is from H&M, short sleeve. Kind of the same principle. Unfortunately, with this H&M shirt, no matter what I do, it always stays wrinkled. That's the only downside with it. But it's a great shirt. These are all very comfortable. And you can wear these all throughout the resort. They will mostly cover for you for when you have to go to like a fancier place for dinner. Now, before you leave, make sure to either join a Facebook group or a Reddit group for your resort. Check it out. Ask people, hey, what's the dress code for these restaurants? And most of the time they'll tell you. It's like, okay, you need a nice dress shirt, maybe long sleeve, might not be, pair of khakis, something nice. But next, let's move on to t-shirts, things like that we need to pack. Now, normally to go to bed, I do wear just a plain white cotton t-shirt. Pack a few of those, depending on how long you're going. I normally will just wear a solid colored t-shirt. These actually are from Target. They are the Goodfellow & Company brand, which is, one of the Target's store brands. Really nice. They're about $7, $8 a piece. Just plain t-shirts. Some of them have pockets. Some don't. Most of the ones I've got actually don't have pockets. Another option is this one's from Sam's Club, of all places. And this one's just Lucky brand. I think this one was like $10, $11. Not bad. Just take a few, non-controversial t-shirts, If you want to wear something with graphics on it, cool. Just don't wear anything offensive. You want to try to make friends with people, not enemies. So be careful wearing things, with like political statements, sports teams, alcohol, things like that. Just be mindful of those around you as well. So guys, remember the Old Navy shirts I showed off earlier? Well, like I said, I do have the matching bathing suits. These are about $17, $20 a piece or so. Really high quality. And the cool thing about these are they are SPF 50. So you can save a little bit on your sunscreen, but also look stylish while doing it. And you do have front pockets on both sides. And then you also have one back pocket on your right butt cheek. I hate saying butt cheek in a video, but I gotta say it because it is on your right butt cheek. So, you know, it's nice to have a couple pairs of bathing suits because, you know, you might want to get out of your bathing suit and then, you know, it just always feels weird going back into a wet bathing suit and then going out and doing things again. So take 2 bathing suits at least. Now I do want to talk about my going to the airport outfit. Just a regular pair of blue jeans. These are from Wrangler, hence the shirt. And then I have one of these, you know, moisture wicking t-shirts. This one is actually, it's old, but it's from Reebok. Really comfortable. It's very breathable. This is actually not cotton, of all things. I think this is like polyester, but you know, it's like very stretchy, really nice. And then also, obviously, wear underwear, but also, depending on how long of a journey you have, wear compression socks, please. You know, you don't want to wind up with a pulmonary embolism or anything on such a long plane journey. Like, I have to fly first from Milwaukee to Houston, and then from Houston to Cancun. And then on the way back, I have to fly from Cancun to Chicago, and then Chicago to Milwaukee, which is pointless. But I take a couple pairs of compression socks with me. Actually, I take one with me, you know, a change, and then I wear the one on the airport when I'm going to the resort. So just keep that in mind. Please wear compression socks. It could save your life. So in this packing cube, I actually have changes of normal socks, underwear, things like that. You know, depending on how many days you're going to be there, take as much as you need. You know, maybe a pair or 2 extra. But also, I do want to talk about what you should wear at night when you're going to bed. I'll just wear a pair of, you know, athletic shorts. These ones are actually from Joe Boxer from Kmart, of all places. Yeah, Kmart isn't around anymore. That's how old these are, but these are 100% cotton. Really nice, very breathable. And then these ones are a poly cotton blend. They are from Russell Athletic. You know, they're really comfortable. You know, if you want to wear pajama pants, you know, whatever you want to wear to bed, that's cool too. But just think of comfort when you're going to bed as well. Now, I do want to talk about normal shorts. Normally, I'm just wearing khaki shorts. These are actually from Dickies, of all things, and I bought these years ago on Amazon. These are actually school uniform shorts. I think I got them for like $10 a pair. So I take both pairs of these I have, and then also I do keep a pair of regular khakis as well, because sometimes you might have to go to a fancy place for dinner and it's like, you know, hey, we want long leg pants. Be prepared. You know, you might accuse me of overpacking. Better to be safe and have it, you know, and all, you know the slogan. So have it. Even if you don't use it, it's still nice to have. Keep that in mind. All right, so now that I'm out of the bathroom, I'm going to talk about things you should take with you. You don't have to, but you'll understand why. So one of the first things is a tumbler with a lid and straw. This one's from Ello. This is 24 ounces. Now, normally when you go to a resort, they're going to give you a plastic cup, and these are just for demonstration purposes. This one is 9 ounces. It holds about 8 ounces comfortably. And then this one is actually a paper cup from Nespresso. What else? This one holds 12 ounces comfortably. And they're going to give you your alcoholic beverages at the resort in, you know, a plastic cup, roughly about any of these sizes. Here's the thing. They don't frown upon if you take a big tumbler with you. Now, you should take the tumbler with you because, excuse me, it is insulated and you have a lid on it. It's a safety thing because, you know, you don't want somebody, you know, to slip something in. You want to keep the bugs and the sand and everything out. You want to make sure that you are staying safe when you are drinking. All right, so let's talk shoes. Now, normally, I just wear these Skechers slip-in. They're memory foam. Really comfortable. It's like walking on Jell-O. Really good. Very neutral. They're just blue. But also, I do pack a pair of Hey Dudes in gray. I mean, these are comfortable too. You know, not bad. Then also, wear a pair of sandals. These are actually from Amazon Basics of all companies. They're really great. These are comfortable too. Simple, still small enough to pack, and then some resorts, the pools are really rocky. So what you want to do is you want to wear a pair of water shoes sometimes. These are actually Speedo branded from Target, I believe, or Meijer. I can't remember. These just slip on. They dry really quick. Now, some other things you might need, I highly recommend, first of all, is a waterproof phone bag. This one's from Piscifun. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Pacific Fun. It came with a waterproof bag I bought, literally. Lanyard around the neck. Easy to open. You have enough room for your phone. And then you can keep some money for tips in the inside of it as well. Another option is, this one's from Walmart. This is a waterproof phone case. This one's actually for my iPhone 17, which I'm not using to film this video, but it's actually being charged right now. The only thing is that it does not have MagSafe capability, but the cool thing is your charge port is completely waterproof. You have a plug for it. It literally wraps around the entire phone, the camera, lenses, everything, but it does not have MagSafe capability. You can buy the MagSafe rings. I put one on the inside of the case and the outside of the case just to be safe. And you got a cool lanyard there. You know, you can, what I like to do with this is stupid, but swing it around my arm when I get bored, because that's what I do. So, you know, honestly though, your best bet is going to be to take a waterproof phone bag. Use that. So another thing is, I am an Apple user. Take an AirTag, put it in your bag. The new carry-on bag I bought from Swanson. Oh, Samsonite. I was way off. Actually has a spot for an AirTag, so you don't need a dedicated holder. If you do have to check your bag, no matter what, you know, because sometimes you do have to check your carry-on bags. And they're like, well, your bag didn't make it. Well, it's still in Chicago. Where's my bag? Can you get it to me? You'll be able to find where it is. Also, for those of you who think that AirTags are like one-time use, you know, they last for a year. No. You can recharge the, actually you can't really recharge them, but you can replace the batteries inside. You literally twist off the top metal portion there, take out the battery, put in a new one. Samsung Galaxy users, there are Samsung versions too. I forget what they're called. I'll put a picture right here, or maybe a link as to what they are. I forget, because I haven't had a Samsung device in 10 years, and a lot of it's changed since then. All right, so another thing is we need to talk toiletries. Now, you should know what you should need to take every day with you. Obviously, toothpaste, mouthwash if you use it, deodorant. Another thing I highly recommend as a guy is, this is Mega Babe Thigh Rescue. Stops chafing. Also, they're made in Milwaukee, where I live. I didn't know that. Here's the thing. The internetting of your bathing suits, especially the older bathing suits, does tend to cause chafing. A lot of the newer ones don't as much, so it's nice to have it. Then also, I do have suntan lotion, sunscreen, shampoo. This is actually After Sun Gel with aloe, hand lotion. If you buy products that, you know, don't have a travel quantity available, you can buy generic bottles like these. This one's actually from Target, comes in this bag, and you can use this bag actually as your quart size bag. There's a couple spray bottles, a cap bottle, you got squeeze bottles, same thing here. You've got a spray bottle, you've got these little canisters you can use for stuff, you got bottles there, you've got labels, a toothbrush cover, and once again, the bag doubles as a quart-sized bag. Also, please make sure that all of your travel toiletries are under 3.4 ounces. If not, they're going to be thrown away. Also, I do want to get back into talking really quick with some toiletries. I do want to talk about sunscreen. Now, it's very important. This is just me trying to be eco-friendly, but also a bit of a serious note here. You know, you're going to Cancun. For the most part, they want to try and protect the coral reefs there. You want to buy a reef safe sunscreen. This is actually from Blue Lizard. It is mineral based. Kind of pricey. It's 3 ounces, so you can easily fit this in your toiletry bag. I think this is about 15 bucks. You could take this banana boat with you. I normally prefer the spray. I do have a reef safe, mineral based spray. I can't find it at the moment. The banana boat, I like the scent, don't get me wrong, but it's not reef safe. This is great for, if you're going out on the Great Lakes, out on the fishing boat, whatever. But you're going to Cancun, leave the banana boat at home, stick to something more reef safe. Like I said, Blue Lizard, not sponsored, but nice to have. Also, just to get back to talking about toiletries really quick, if you do take prescription medicines, even though I took the label off, take your prescriptions with you in the original bottle from the pharmacy. My pharmacy is actually Amazon Pharmacy, surprisingly. Should have your name, address, the medication, the strength, how many you're supposed to take, all that stuff. But also, in this bag here, I have a couple over-the-counter medicines. I have a laxative because I'm on a medicine that kind of paralyzes my stomach and everything. Imodium, Pepto-Bismol, got Dramamine, Q-tips. In my case, I also have lens wipes for cleaning my sunglasses and Effordent tablets because I wear a night guard and I have to keep that thing clean. Also, denture brush for cleaning the night guard. I get this out. Toothbrush in a toothbrush holder. I normally brush with an electric toothbrush, but when I go on vacation, I just use a manual one. I have tons of them from my dentist, so I just save them up. This is just a basic first aid kit from CVS. There's alcohol wipes and bandages in there. Floss picks with toothpicks. Liquid IV. You're going to be drinking. You need to stay hydrated. I can't stress this enough. Stay hydrated. And also, condoms. Here's the thing. If you're a single guy like I am, and you meet somebody, take condoms with you. You don't want to wind up with a surprise kid. So obviously, we live in a more digital, interconnected world. We're attached to our phones and things like that. And the important thing is you need to stay charged and connected. Now, inside this pouch, I actually have a bunch of charging cables. I've got 2 power banks. Normally when I travel with an extension cord, and it has a box, with 3 normal plugs, 2 USB-A, 2 USB-C, so that I can charge things on the go. I'll put a picture of it over here. You can get them on Amazon. They're perfect for if you go on a cruise because they aren't surge protectors. And if you go on a cruise with a surge protector, they're going to throw it away. I use it for mainly my CPAP machine. It really comes in handy. All right, so let's talk about fun stuff you should take with you when you're on vacation. Take either a gimbal, that's freaking out, or a selfie stick with you so that you can capture those cool memories with you. Now, this is actually the Insta360 Flow 2 Pro, and I like this personally. You have a couple different options for mounting your phone to it. You have the MagSafe option, or you have the clamp-based option. I personally am not. There we go. Now it's active. I'm not a fan of like the clamp-based options, personally. Just, I've never really liked those. Shut up. I'm still trying to get used to this, but also with the Flow 2 Pro, it does double as a small tripod. There's legs out at the bottom, and then if you want, you can hook a selfie stick to its butthole there. Oh, stop moving. Another thing you can do is, one of my favorites, just take a selfie stick. This one's really cool. This one has a remote that you can remove so that you can get the perfect shot. But also, it is MagSafe. Really long range. It's like, I'm 5'9", and it's literally extended out all the way without what I'm about to show you next. But also, press this button down here. Turns into a tripod. So you can capture a lot of moments if you're a vlogger. This works great too. There, I think I killed the thing, but it's got a great option. All right, so let's talk about some more fun stuff you should take with you. Tablet. You're going to need this on the plane ride. This is actually a Samsung Galaxy Tab A9 Plus. I've had this for a couple of years. Works great. Even though, like I said, I am more of an Apple user, I like the Galaxy Tab because there is room for expandable storage, so I can put an SD card in it, load it with movies, TV shows, what have you. Next thing is Bluetooth headphones. These are actually the Beats Solo 4. And I like these because you can use these as traditional headphones. They do come with an aux cord, USB-C charging. They're really comfortable, and they're not noise canceling, but they actually do a great job, and they don't make this one anymore. Now the next thing is, take an action camera with you. And if you do take an action camera and you are going on an excursion where you're going to do some snorkeling, diving, what have you, take a dive case with you too. I'm going to actually take Insta360 Ace Pro 2 with me. Does great. I wanted to take my Insta360 X4 360 cam, but I didn't want to risk it. When you do go to Mexico, for example, you're only allowed 3 cameras, I believe, at customs if you do get stopped by customs. So I figured it was safer just for me to take the Ace Pro 2 and then have my cell phone, have the tablet. I'm set for the most part. Also, keep in mind too, you are allowed 1 laptop, 1 tablet. It used to be if you had a laptop and a tablet, they were going to stop you and confiscate one of them. They don't do that anymore. Also, don't take multiple cell phones with you. Take only 1 cell phone. Like, I'm not wearing it, but I normally also wear an Apple Watch. But there's lots of other fun stuff you can take with you. Last, I don't have these things. I normally don't keep these around the house, but, take a deck of cards. You can take dice with you. Obviously you're not going to be gambling. If you like games like Uno, Phase 10, Skip-Bo, things like that, take those too. They're small enough. Also, finally, keep a copy of your travel itinerary. I'm not going to show you mine. Any booking confirmation for any excursions you may go on, and then also a copy of your Visitax. In Cancun especially, they are really cracking down on the Visitax forms. Keep a copy on your phone. Keep a hard copy. I like to keep a copy in every bag I'm taking, so I keep a copy in my carry-on bag, my backpack, and then also, obviously, I have the digital copies on my phone and tablet as well. But guys, that's it for today. If you have any tips or tricks or anything you think I forgot, please leave a comment below. Also, give Blanche some love over 3 Days and Tres Noches. She has a hell of a lot more subscribers than I do, but she's great. Yeah, this video is obviously going to be going live when I'm in the air somewhere between Milwaukee and Houston. So that concludes everything for today. As always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and more from Cancun coming up. Where am I going? You'll see shortly.
Baggage from Eastern's Flight 399 can be claimed in Area 1.
Baggage claim is an airline's last chance to disappoint a customer. There's no better way to ruin a perfect flight than to make you wait for your bags right here. I'm Frank Warman, the president of Eastern Airlines. At Eastern, we believe that baggage claim is also a pretty good place to keep a customer happy. And the best way is to try to have his suitcase get here before he does. It means we really have to hustle. And since we handle over 40 million bags a year, we're bound to goof once in a while. But we're doing our best to cut down on delays, damage, and loss. We know what it means to you to be able to get off the airplane, get your suitcase, and go. Look, there are a lot of airlines out there you can fly besides Eastern. So if we want you to fly Eastern all the time, and we do, we have to earn our wings every day.